I'm Carly Sweetman. I am coming to you live for day one of 365 days in my rebellious reality. I'm supposed to be simultaneously streaming on YouTube. However, I just had to enable live streaming, which I didn't know was a thing, and it's going to take me 24 hours. So I'm beginning on my Facebook business page here at Rebellious Nurse, which is my brand name, Rebellious Nurse. So what I stand for, I'm going to begin with saying what I stand for. And I just have to read it. I'm very nervous. We'll talk about that later. But I stand for unity, freedom, humanity, integrity, empowerment, and multidimensional health. So the reason that I call myself Rebellious Nurse is because on my own health journey and also watching the process of my patients move through the system, I started to really get interested in natural health. And years later now, I have successfully healed myself in many ways that medicine wasn't able to. And I have a lot of just experiences and insights and basically in this natural healing journey, I also began on what I would call a spiritual journey, a spiritual awakening. And so we're 2 years into that right now. And I'm really desiring community. It's been a time of isolation, as we all know, and I have found much of my community online. So I'm looking to expand on that. And at the end of last year, I came into some really, really deep-seated fears about that I was holding on to, that I didn't even realize I was holding on to. And it was fears about being seen, being fully seen in my authentic expression. And I thought I had moved through so many layers of that. And I have, but I thought I moved through it, you know? And just coming on here tonight to do this video there was so much resistance and so much fear to move into, because I'm now taking myself, I think, onto 2 different platforms. And it's really pushing an edge for me. I've done a lot of live Instagram videos, but I have never come on and kind of opened myself up in this way and with this intention of really allowing this to be an authentic expression of who I am for 365 days in a row. And the different flavors and versions of myself. I feel like a person who is so diverse and so I am like so many different things all rolled into one. And I cycle through these different, flavors, these different versions. I believe in being dynamic and not fixed, not just waking up, early in your life and saying you're going to be a certain person and then living up to that for the rest of your life. I believe we are dynamic, multi-dimensional individuals. And so that's what this entire thing is. This is for me to push my edge, to find people who are into the things that I'm into, to hopefully inspire people to learn new things. Social media has just been so mind-expanding for me. I grew up very sheltered in a rural area, and I'm a Marine Corps veteran. Even after going into the military and seeing more of the world, I was still very sheltered. And I just feel like social media expanded me in so many ways because you get to connect to so many different kinds of people and so see so many different ways of living and being, and believing in all the things. And, I just want to share. I want to share who I am, what I'm about, what I do on a daily basis, my adventures that I've had in the past. Like, I just want to share myself. And I really think that this is going to be a healing process for me and just such an expanding journey. I actually just had Chinese food last night, and my fortune was comfort zones are most often expanded through discomfort. And so that's what this showing up, making this commitment is. It's uncomfortable for me, and it's an edge, and I feel like it's an edge that's going to bring me to another level in so many different aspects of my life, and also benefit, people. There's so much knowledge that I've accumulated that I just I don't know how to share it. And I just feel like, I have my Instagram platform at Rebellious Nurse. That's kind of like my teaching platform. And I'm sure that I'm going to be teaching, during these sometimes. But this is really for me to just show up who I am, not feel like I have to do anything. I want to show up and just be who I am every day and tell you a little bit about what I'm moving through that day, or a message that wants to come through that day, or whatever. My goal is for every day to be a different surprise. Hi, Brian. Thank you so much for joining me. My sweetie pie just came on and joined me. And so what else is coming through for today? Okay. So another thing that I really want to say about me is, I have this core, this really core component inside of me about unity. And unity is, in my definition, humanity is very polarized with you do this and you don't do that. And it's black and it's white. And unity to me is like that space in between. It's the gray area. And it's the area that, to me also, I consider myself a truth seeker, but I really have a different definition of truth than I used to have for a large part of my life. And so what I believe about truth now is that we each get to have our own truth. I do believe there are things that are true and proven, but I believe that truth can be very subjective. And I think that what I've really felt in this society that we live in is that when we take out the subjectivity of other people's truths, we're really leaving people behind. We're really separating and isolating and traumatizing people. I have gotten very deep into the realms of trauma, emotional trauma. Part of my message is to spread trauma awareness. And I really feel, when I look at this society, that, my truth is that the way that we are it's really not benefiting many people. And I see a different way. And so basically, the reason I'm telling you this is because I want to just say in the first video that it is here that I will express my truth, but it is never expected that anybody watching this is going to take that on as their truth. I believe that we all have different resonances. We're all, when I say resonances, I believe in energy, and I believe that we have different frequencies, and different things resonate with those frequencies, and we're all so unique. And that's another, like, that's something I don't feel our society takes into account, is how unique we are. It's like they desire uniformity. And like I said, I was in the military, and that's all about uniformity, you know? And I guess it serves that purpose. It serves a militaristic purpose. But for regular life, I feel like it's not serving us, because again, it's making people feel segregated and weird and separate and discriminated against and not part of anything and isolated and alone and all of these things. And I just think it's so important that we embrace our unique qualities and speak from an authentic truth that we feel. And so, as much as I understand that your truth might not be mine and vice versa, I would love to entertain your truth. I see us all starting to move from these polarities of the black and white of humanity right now into this more cohesive unity area, this gray area, and supporting each other, being able to find compassion and understanding and love in the fact that we are all human beings. We have that in common, and we can work together with our unique qualities, with our unique subjective truths, and harmonize them and support each other and learn from each other, and really start elevating this situation. That's how I feel. So I wanted to just add that about how I feel about truth. Everyone is welcome here. I'm going to share beliefs that I hold. It is not ever expected that you need to have those beliefs. I believe we should start intermingling and find this common solid ground. We should let go of judgment and understand that everybody has their own path to walk. So I really wanted to share that. And just say again, I moved through a lot of resistance and fear to come on here today. I was looking at my memories, and when was it? 2017, which is 5 years ago. 5 years ago? Whatever. We're just going to leave that alone, because I'm not going to sit here and debate it in my mind. 2017, this day, I was in Hawaii on the island of Oahu. It was my first YOLO solo vacation where I pushed myself outside my comfort zone. And I saw that today, all those years ago, I went snorkeling by myself. And I went to a yoga class in the morning, and I remember the women telling me about this place, Electric Beach, and how the current's kind of strong there. And I was a swimmer in high school, so I felt, I feel confident in my swimming skills, but it was just so, like, I pushed myself outside of my comfort zone to go on vacation alone. And then I was going to snorkel alone, and I had to leave my stuff on the beach, and I just had never done it before. And it just, and I did it. And it was amazing. And I got to see the most beautiful fish. And now it's just so wild how all these years later, I'm doing another thing that's pushing me so far out of my comfort zone. I think, I was reflecting on my life a little bit earlier, and just how I was so indoctrinated into so many systems that I would choose, I chose the military. That's hard. That's that's jumping outside of my comfort zone, right? But for me, for some reason, that wasn't super scary. But then a lot of the situations in the military where I'd be getting yelled at to scale a freaking wooden wall that I would never try to do myself and never believe that I could do myself, that because I chose that as a path, I would be able to follow their regulations, like whatever their agenda was in boot camp and all these other trainings that I went through in 4 years. I was forced to push myself out of my comfort zone because they were telling me to, but it's nothing I ever would have like willingly done. And I feel the same thing for when I went to college, you know, like going up and giving like public speaking presentations. Like I'm not a person who ever enjoyed that. Like I used to like tremble. I used to black out in the military. I used to black out when they put me in this color guard where I had to do like the rifle manual. And the first time I ever did a ceremony, I literally, like, I didn't fall, I was performing, but like I was completely blank and I didn't remember it when I was done. Like I was in such shock. But yeah, the point of this is that I feel like all of these different institutions or agendas that I signed up for along my life's journey, they did most of the pushing out of my comfort zone for me. It was like in order to continue on the path that I signed up for, I would have to follow their rules, and in turn I would end up getting pushed outside my comfort zone. And so what I realized was after I graduated college and I started to become a nurse and become proficient, you know, learning to be a nurse on a hospital floor, which was my first job, that is pushing myself outside my comfort zone, you know. But once I kind of leveled off with that, I really kind of became stagnant because I wasn't taking the initiative to like make decisions to like push my edges. And so, basically I'm going to leave off today. If there's we're in a new year, 2022. And if there's something that's been on your heart, something this year that, or just in general, a goal that you've had in general that you haven't been able to break through, you know, you haven't been able to accomplish, you've had this goal for however long, I invite you first to feel into, you know, I've heard from mentors before, if you are desiring something that you don't yet have, energetically, you might not be able to hold it. You might not be in resonance with it, like I was talking about before. So I encourage you to kind of ask yourself, where are you staying in your comfort zone? And see if maybe that, asking yourself that question, or where are you in resistance to moving forward, or resistance to change, or resistance to this goal that you have, and seeing if you can't begin to use this new year to push some edges, to start changing the script. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. I will hopefully be able to transfer this video onto YouTube tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow for day 2. I welcome any and all commentary, any and all messages, and have a good night. Good night, sweetie.